When my son died, my world shattered. But I never expected that the real heartbreak would come from the woman he loved, my daughter-in-law. She took everything he owned, $55 million, and kicked me out of the house I helped build. I walked away with nothing but grief and humiliation. But karma doesn't forget, because just weeks later she was on her knees, begging me for help. And this time I made sure she learned exactly what she'd thrown away. If you've ever seen someone get what they truly deserve, hit that subscribe button and like this video. This story is about betrayal, greed, and the kind of justice that money can't buy. Let's dive in. I raised my son, Daniel, alone after my husband passed away. We didn't have much, but Daniel had a spark, a sharp mind, and an even sharper heart. From a young age, he promised me, "Mom, one day I'll make sure you never have to worry again." And he kept that promise. By 35, Daniel had built a multi-million-dollar tech company from the ground up. I watched him grow from a boy who fixed broken radios in our kitchen to a man who had investors flying across the world just to meet him. I was proud. Not because of the money, but because he never forgot where he came from. Then he met her, Emily. She was beautiful, polished, and clever. Too clever, maybe. She came from money and always looked at people like she was assessing their worth. I'll admit I wasn't her biggest fan, but Daniel loved her, so I tried. For him. When they got married, I gifted them the deed to our family home, the same house Daniel grew up in. It was my way of saying, "You're ready now. Build your own life here." For years, things seemed fine. I moved into the guest house out back, close enough to see them, far enough to give them space. Then tragedy struck. Daniel had a sudden heart attack. 38 years old, gone before the ambulance even arrived. My world stopped. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I spent my nights in his old room, clutching the jacket he used to wear. But while I drowned in grief, Emily was busy, with lawyers. A week after the funeral, she came to me, her eyes dry and cold. "I'm sorry, but Daniel's assets transfer to me. The house, too. You'll have to find somewhere else." I remember blinking, confused. "Emily, this is my home." She shrugged. "It was, but it's time you moved on. I've already spoken to realtors. The market's hot, and this place could go for at least $12 million. I felt my stomach drop. That house wasn't just walls. It was Daniel's childhood, my husband's memory, everything we'd built as a family. I begged her. "Please, Emily, just let me stay in the guest house. I'll be out of your way. I've already lost my son. Don't take my home, too." She smiled and said, "You'll figure something out. You always do." And just like that, she kicked me out. I spent the next few days in a small motel room with a suitcase and my grief. I couldn't even afford my medication because Daniel had handled all my finances. Everything was tied up in his accounts, and now those belonged to her. But here's the thing about greed. It's blind. Emily thought she'd won, but Daniel was smarter than she ever realized. A week before his death, Daniel had changed his will. He'd transferred 40% of his company shares into a trust, under my name. But that trust wasn't visible in his public financial documents. Emily had no idea it existed. I didn't either until Daniel's lawyer contacted me. He told me, "Mrs. Parker, your son wanted to make sure you'd always be cared for. You're now one of the majority shareholders of his company." I was stunned. Daniel had thought ahead. He knew Emily's true nature long before I did. So while Emily flaunted her inheritance and sold off properties, I quietly began working with Daniel's old business partner, Marcus, who helped me understand the company. I didn't want revenge, not at first. I just wanted stability, a little peace. But then I saw her name in the news. Emily had announced a new luxury startup using Daniel's old connections. She claimed to be the true visionary behind his success, rewriting history to erase him completely. She used Daniel's name to secure a massive investor deal, worth, you guessed it, $55 million. That's when something inside me broke. I remembered her smirk when she kicked me out, her coldness at my son's funeral, the way she said, "You'll figure something out." Oh, I did. I spent the next few months quietly reclaiming what was mine, and Daniel's. Through the trust, I had voting power in his company. I worked with Marcus and the board to restructure ownership, reclaim patents, and protect Daniel's intellectual property. Meanwhile, Emily's new company launched. Big promises, glossy marketing, celebrity endorsements. But I knew the foundation was built on lies. She didn't understand the technology, the supply chain, or the legal side of what Daniel had built. When her product line launched, I waited for the perfect moment. Then, through Daniel's company, I issued a cease and desist for patent infringement. The product she'd built her empire on, it was based on Daniel's patented technology. Her investors panicked, stockholders withdrew, lawsuits piled up. Within weeks, her company's value plummeted. That $55 million deal? Gone. And then, one morning, my phone rang. "Mrs. Parker, please, can we talk?" It was Emily. Her voice was shaky, desperate. "I didn't know about the patent. Please, I'll lose everything." I let a moment of silence stretch before answering. "You already did," she sobbed. "Please, I have nothing left. I'm begging you." For a moment, I almost felt pity. Almost. Then I remembered standing in the rain with my suitcase, listening to her lock the door behind me. I said quietly, "You told me to figure something out. Maybe now it's your turn." And I hung up. A few weeks later, her company filed for bankruptcy. The mansion she'd bought with Daniel's money was foreclosed. I heard she moved into a small apartment in another city, away from the people she used to impress. As for me, I moved back into my son's home. The board insisted I take back the property since it was purchased under Daniel's original assets. I restored it exactly how it was. His favorite books, his old records, everything. Every morning I sit on the porch with a cup of coffee, watching the sunrise, thinking of him. There's peace in knowing that justice didn't come from anger, but from truth. Daniel once told me, "Mom, you can't fight darkness with more darkness. Just let people destroy themselves. They always do." He was right. Revenge isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's just watching someone dig their own grave while you stand quietly on solid ground. In the end, I didn't destroy Emily. She did that herself. I just let the truth do the work. If you believe karma always finds its way, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real